was just to see.
Hey.
Just don't understand.
Good evening and welcome to the Georgetown budget hearing for the FY 2018 budget. If we could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wow, this is great to have so many
I
people.
know. It is.
It's usually just Mike.
We've had it like zero people, and that's, it's good.
Okay, so we are here tonight to allow the public to come and talk to us about the budget. So I know that Joe Patella is here, and I'd love to have him come on up and talk to us.
Sure.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
Welcome
Nice
back
to
from
see
vacation.
all of you.
Do you want Mike to come up too, or just you?
Mike can come up, Mike.
Want to come on up, Mike?
Now, I just prepared a few words, and I wanted to first thank the school committee and Superintendent Jacobs for providing this opportunity to speak tonight in favor of the budget proposal brought forth to the committee. We talk about a lot in my class about perception, and perception, as we know, is a funny thing. Where some choose to only see hard, cold numbers, we, the teachers, choose to see the impact of those numbers every day. Where some only get their pupils to focus on the percent increase, we get our pupils to focus on becoming the best possible citizens that they can be through education. There's a big difference between surviving and thriving, and nowhere in Georgetown is that more noticeable than in our schools. As a selectman or a finance committee member, you could choose to cast your vote at your meeting with a simple yay or nay and never once see, hear, taste, or feel the impact of that vote. We see it. We hear it, taste it, and feel it, and so do our students. As educators, we never settle for level funding from our students in regards to their work product, and the students shouldn't have to settle for level funding from their town. It's not a question of whether the job will get done. It's a question of how well the job will get done with the necessary funding. There's a reason why butchers use meat cutters now instead of just a plain old knife. Massachusetts leads the nation in education, and we need our school leaders right now to lead us. Right now is our time. If you are a parent of a student in our schools or care about the education that the children of Georgetown demand, then the time is now. The power of the people is always stronger than the people in the power. And we need you to use that power to help get this budget passed. Our students need it, they demand it, and most of all, they deserve it. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
I guess he's done. I didn't know if.
Does that mean it's your turn?
I didn't know if you had any.
No.
If you had any questions for Joe or anything like that, or.
Does anybody have any questions? I mean, the budget is, I wasn't here at the last meeting, but from what I understand, the discussion was not long. Because as you can see, it's not like we're adding anything, and, we're hoping to go in with this budget, and we're hoping to get it approved by the town. I am very hopeful that that happens. If it does not happen, then it will be another difficult year. And it probably will continue to be that way.
I mean, I'd be preaching to the choir. You know that I'm at all the meetings, and I know how supportive each one of you have been in making the right decisions for your sons, your daughters, and the teachers in the town. It's unfortunate because we know what the real issue is. It's just a lack of revenue. It's a lack of a consistent funding source. So the real question is, we keep saying this year in, year out. NEASC is coming around again. Last time NEASC was here, the school was evaluated relatively strongly. However, they were found to have an inadequate funding source. And here we are 12 years later, and it's still happening. And now we're going to pay NEASC again. I know that some districts have opted out of that to save the financial burden to the town, but still kind of adhere to an evaluation process where they're still kind of determining what they do, how they could do it better, that kind of thing. Because I represent the teachers, you know, there's some sad things that are occurring. When I look at, I've been here 16 years, but when I look at younger teachers, I think in the last few years with budget cuts and, you know, the possibility of cuts in staff, it's demoralizing. There is a feeling of, okay, I love my job and I really like this town and these kids are great, but I can't function year to year thinking that my head's on the chopping block. And who pays for it? Like, you know, the students pay for that. You know, whenever, you know this, when there's any kind of revolving door, whether it's administrative, whether it's teaching, it creates a certain inconsistency and imbalance. You know, I just wish that we can have that consistency here. So, you know, as a veteran, I really care for this community, and it's a part of my identity, and I hope that the right decisions can be made long term, so we can have a significant and sustained funding source. But we're starting to feel it. We're already starting to feel the consequences of years of this. So I thank you for your time, and you know me, I'm always available at all the meetings, and I appreciate that you're speaking on behalf of us, and I wish you the best in trying to pass and try to convince the town that this is the right budget. So thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to come up and talk to us about the budget? Hi. Can you just state your name and your address, please?
My name is James Durkin. I'm with the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, and we're headquartered at 8 Beacon Street in Boston, Massachusetts. And I'll be very brief. We're here tonight to do a lot of listening. I'm here with a number of the staff from the
Did they
school
want to come up
lunch
and join you?
program. More than welcome to, if you'd
Yeah.
like.
Sure. I think we have a planned meeting tomorrow with these individuals.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay,
Hi.
I'm really happy to have you up. We won't bite.
Thank you.
Promise.
Suzanne and,
Ruth.
hi Ruth.
Ruth. And if my name sounds familiar, I did reach out to you by telephone. I spoke with some of you. Thank you very much. I know you're extraordinarily busy, but I appreciate the calls back. And I guess what I'd like to say tonight is we're hoping, as you all are aware, there is the possibility the district is, and the superintendent is currently exploring outsourcing this program and or privatizing, as it's sometimes called. And we're hoping to avoid this for a number of reasons. I've been doing this work for 14 years now, and I've seen a number of these instances, and almost invariably they turn out to be a failure. The process always begins the same. Contractors will secure the contract with a lowball bid, and then over time, after the district loses the infrastructure to continue to provide the services, the costs go up. But most importantly, the real casualty here is the dedicated workforce that has served for a number of years. I've got a chance to know these ladies over the past couple of months, and I can tell you, as I'm sure you already know, they're extremely dedicated and committed to their jobs. We have one that commutes into work almost an hour and a half every day simply because she loves the work from up in New Hampshire. But the only way that a contractor can secure these contracts is by cutting the frontline workforce. So when I see a superintendent or a management official come in with such a proposal, I think to myself, imagine if you, a body, went to this management official and said, we'd love to have you back next year, but we need you need you to take a 30% cut in pay, sometimes even higher. We need you to give up your municipal health insurance coverage, and you'll be out of the pension system. You would rightly think, or he or she would rightly think, that that was absurd. But make no mistake about it, that's what a management official is asking you to do to the frontline workforce when they bring such a proposal forward. It's my understanding, in talking with people and talking with our staff rep, Dina Felino, that this is about a deficit somewhere in the vicinity of $30,000 a year. We know that 15,000 of that at least is related to uncollected bills from students or parents. So we stand ready to roll up our sleeves. These ladies have a lot of creative ideas. We like to roll up our sleeves, see what we can do to cut the deficit by increasing participation in the program, looking at some creative menu options by surveying the parents, the students, even the teachers who are able to take advantage of these services. And we're hoping that we can at least avoid this for a year until we can address some fundamental problems, including there are some issues with equipment in the school that we think if we could address those, that operations would be more efficient, more streamlined. And just asking to please, if there's any possibility to avoid going forward with this RFP for another year and working. I'm delighted to hear that there's going to be a meeting tomorrow. I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised to hear what they have in the works for ideas. I guess with that, I know you probably have a busy night ahead of you, so I thank you for your time. I don't know if you ladies
No, you
would like
good.
to say anything. Feel free to add, or am I missing anything? Have I left anything
No,
out?
you're not. You hit
No.
everything on the head.
No,
Okay.
but we have the personal of the moms that have seen a lot of these kids from when they were little, and they go through the Pembroke, then they go through the high school. And the moms that I work with, they wanna see these kids throw, cause we take really good care of them. And there's a lot of kids that have,
In-
we have,
Right, in my school alone, there's a lot of dietary, different allergies, and there's a lot that I'm certified in the allergens, so there's a lot of allergens, different allergies that we have to actually take, and we take them very seriously. And there's one in particular that it's something that, if you don't know a lot about, that student can get severely sick. She now eats every day at our school, and her levels have gone down in half since she started eating with us. And the mother came in ecstatic about it and just wanted to let us know. And that's the kind of care you're getting at each one of our schools. You know, it's every child is walking, and we call each other mama bears because we are. We take care of every single child that walks through is so well taken care of from the minute they enter the door to the minute they leave that cash register. They're all well taken care of, and it's a very, I take a lot of honor in it. My employees take a lot of honor in it, so it's just something to take into consideration, because it's you have a lot of care there, and there's a lot of possibilities to make revenue if we all work together.
and we don't have the revolving door, because with the management companies, unfortunately, you have a lot of low-paid employees, and the turnover rate is very high, and you don't get the retainment of the people that are serving the kids every day. I've worked for them myself for several years, and if you work there, like, we do so much professional development, all of us, we have to take it all, we have more certificates and more classes and more certifications that we have to take care of the kids. When I worked for the management company, before I came to Georgetown, we'd sit in the cafeteria having our lunch, and my boss would say, here, teach this training, and we'd all sign a piece of paper. We have to physically go to these vigorous trainings so that we can properly take care of these kids. That's just part of our jobs. Like, I don't think people realize the vigorous training that goes into serving the children in the high school and in the middle school, you know, like the young kids, the old kids, the training that we are all required, no matter what. We could be a cashier, we could be the manager, we have all different hours of rigorous training that we have to do to take care of them. And the management companies will tell you that they've had it, but I've seen it firsthand. And it's just something that I think is really important that people know. The cost of training people with a high turnover rate and people that really don't care because they have to be here. There's the case of people that have to be here, like I have no choice, I have to go to work. We're here because we want to be here. Most of us have a pretty decent life outside of our work, and we come here because we truly, truly, truly love the kids in this town, and we want to be here. We could work any place, but we prefer to be with the kids here. And I don't know, I never sit like this in front of people, so I'm done.
You're doing a good job.
I'm done.
And if I could just add one thing, I'm sorry, thank you. You really can't place a value on that kind of thing. A stable workforce that the kids know and trust, that the parents know and trust. And again, getting back, when you bring in a contractor, because the wages are so low, look, nobody's getting rich doing this work, right? But what they do have is the promise of a decent wage, a living wage, decent health care coverage, and the promise somewhere down the road of a modest retirement benefit. When you take those things away, what you end up, and I see this all the time, again, 14 years, 4 states we cover, you have a revolving pool of strangers really coming in and out of your schools. And I'll leave you with one cautionary tale, and that's the town of Chelmsford 4 or 5 years ago. It was not the lunch program, but it was the school cleaning program, where they thought they could save a couple extra bucks by bringing in a private contractor. The workers were all offered jobs at the school, but in this case it was a 40% wage cut, a lousy health care plan, and of course they're out of the pension, so they all walked away, and rightly so, nobody could blame them. But a small crew of 20, over the next 4 years, 5 of them were arrested for crimes committed inside the school. And we're talking theft of petty cash from the cafeteria fund, theft of prescription drugs from the school nurse's locked cabinet. The police had actually set up a sting operation with a camera. It got so bad in Chelmsford that when the new superintendent, a gentleman by the name of Jay Lang, came in at the start of the year, he brought them all back in-house. At a significant investment in equipment, things like that, but it was worth it. And that's what you are losing when you bring in a private contractor. You're losing a stable, trusted workforce. More than anything else, we would hope that that would remain paramount in your minds as you move forward, or hopefully not move forward on this.
And I never want to complain about broken down equipment. I've been going since the middle of last year with, if we didn't have the workforce that we have in the school, the kids would be eating peanut butter and jelly, because you really have to know what the heck you're doing to work with no equipment. I have no steamer, my warmer's broken, my big steam kettle is broken, everything's just broken.
Yeah, well, I think when you bring things like that to our attention, I am not aware of that. I'm sure my fellow committee members are not aware of that.
Us.
But I do want to thank you for coming. And when I say that we value our staff, and when I say staff, it's not just teachers, administrators, the paraprofessionals that come out every day, the secretaries. It is you as well. I mean, I remember my lunch mums when I was a kid, and it was the ones that would give you a hug, just like teachers would if you were having a bad day. So, I get it. I totally get it. And I know that Cheryl and I are looking forward to tomorrow's meeting.
Yes.
Hearing the creative ways that we could possibly, work through this and hopefully come to a decision that will make us all very happy. But it means a lot for you guys to come out tonight and talk to us, and I'm sure.
We appreciate the
Yeah,
opportunity.
we appreciate the time.
Thank you very much.
Because the kids call us their lunch moms. They
Yeah.
don't say, "Oh, the lunch ladies." They're like, the kids really. It's lunch is supposed to be the happiest part of your day when you're in school, because school's hard sometimes, and to be able to come in and have the familiar people and the comfort and the looking forward to it, it's a nice experience. It should be part of their school, and it's
Well,
nice
we have
to
all
see
seen the signatures. The petition that the students have signed. So let's just, you know, what I just would love to see happen is that this occurred between, you know, the committee and, you know, I don't ever wanna see kids like in the middle and trying to like understand the big picture
Right.
of things, because they certainly don't.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate them, you know, taking it upon themselves to make the petition and to sign. I think that's great. But I would prefer just that it just be between the negotiations committee and with you guys, and we can, you know, hopefully,
Yeah.
you know.
Unfortunately, that student took upon himself to do it. We had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I know.
And if we had it our way, we would have not had that also, because that's what we would prefer.
Well, it was
us
very,
talking
it
with
was
you
very
guys.
well written.
Yeah.
It was definitely from the heart, and we get that. I mean, I have 3 kids in the school system. Not all 3 of them eat lunches every day, but they all know who you are. And we appreciate that you do take the time to actually, you know, get to know them. You know, other than just, you know, them as kids walking through the cafeteria lines. So
Right.
we appreciate what you do.
Well, we look forward to tomorrow's meeting.
Yeah, we are as well.
All right, thank you very
But
much.
thank you again for coming out. We do
And tomorrow
appreciate
feeding
it.
them again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In case.
We're tight on time because we have a Board of Selectmen meeting that is supposed to be starting right at 7. So is there anyone else that wants to come up and talk to us about the budget? Laura, do you have all the signatures that you need from attendees?
Did you just take them?
Oh, okay.
You can circulate it if you haven't, signed it. We've got about 2 minutes left, so it'll either be recess or adjourn,
Right.
okay?
Again, anybody else that wants to come up and talk? Okay, does anyone here have anything that they wanna add or say? Okay, do you wanna say something?
I mean, should we reserve our discussion for the next meeting, or if this is for the public?
Yeah, yeah, let's do
So,
that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so at this point in time, 6:55, I will make a motion to adjourn the budget hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Great, thank you.
Are we moving?
We're moving downstairs.
Yeah, downstairs.